So hello students, welcome back, and today we are going to learn about this what paper 2021 May-June paper variation 42. Okay, my pen got a bit problem sometimes my pen shaking, but never mind lah. So it's another 10 more days or 15 more days towards November IGCSE exam. So I hope that you are doing revision well. I hope that this video also will help you. Figure 1A, flower show the wind pollination. Very fast, we just go through. Complete the sentence of wind pollination. During wind pollination, pollen from the anther of the flower is blown out, so the wind to the stigma of another flower. Okay, so the pollen blow out to another stigma. We can look at the picture. Usually it's not pretty lah, correct or not? Usually the one that use insect pollination, the anther is shorter and is more beautiful, colorful. If wind pollination, usually is black and white, and it no need to be pretty. It just need the wind to carry it, or maybe insect by the fur and so on. Also, you need to hang out so that it will stick at the animal skin. So it depends. This one not pretty lah, so we know that it's carried by wind pollination. Describe one way of wind pollination. Flower is different from the anther. Yes, you should say that the anther is hanging out of the flower. That is the better answer. Okay, but even the marking scheme say like that, because when you say it what does it mean by it? It can refer to the flower, it can refer to the wind, it can refer to the insect. So the marking scheme say anther is hanging out of the flower, and it's very long, but I still give correct lah. But in exam, just make sure you put anther rather than you put it. After wind pollination, fertilizer is formed. So this is the roots and this is the seed. Circle the name of the process. So this is called germination. So I think you guys know already. The root of the seed is going downward. Yeah, the root is going downward. Name this tropic process is phototropism. Away from the light, because I'm thinking like, is it geotropism? Because also it's gravity. Even without light, the root will go down, correct or not? Due to geotropism, but and also maybe due to water, hydrotropism. But when we are talking about the root, so usually it's hydrotropism or geotropism. But because here got say light, so we just say phototropism. And to make it more accurate, actually root is negative phototropism, and the tip of the root, the tip of the shoot is positive phototropism. But the marking scheme just say phototropism lah, so you just put phototropism lah. Show that the plant is growing from the bean a few days, so this plant is moving towards the light. Positive phototropism on the leaf. Complete the sentence concerning the response of the shoot and shown. Auxin is a hormone that to make the plant grow. So auxin is made in the shoot or tip of the plant. Correct or not? The shoot and tip of the plant. Wait, let me press my pen. Because the root will grow, but we cannot see the root, and the tip will grow, but the tip we can see lah, the root down there. So auxin will make the tip and the root to grow and spread to the plant. Auxin collect on the dark side of the shoot, correct? So that auxin stimulates cell. This word is quite specific. It's called elongation. Elongation, which causes it to bend. So as it grow, this type of grow is make it longer. We call it elongation. So I just didn't give it correct lah. Even actually grow faster is correct, but they want this word to be at there. Yeah, they already the marking scheme want this word, so I just put one mark lah. Oil sometimes stored in the seed, correct or not? Usually seed they have oil, like kernel seed from the palm oil. You see where you buy lah, sunflower seed, sunflower oil, palm oil, corn oil. So usually all of these seed they have certain amount of oil. Describe how you want to test it. So how you want to test oil? So usually we use ethanol and if there are white emulsion, then we know there's oil. So what you need to do is you crush the seed. After crushing, mix it, pour ethanol and water into it, and we see whether there is white emulsion or not. So if there is white emulsion, means there is fats or oil, anything like that. So I mean, got magnetic test, got protein test, and one of it is the fats test or oil test. Just use ethanol and water if white emulsion. But you need to crush the seed lah. So I just put here crush the seed. Correct now, you want to take palm oil, so you crush the palm oil and you extract the oil from the palm oil. So this one didn't get any mark. Calcium chloride CaCl2 is an ionic compound, okay, metal and non-metal. It's a dot cross diagram show the arrangement of electron in the ion, okay. So calcium 2 plus, chloride ion negative charges, no problem. Describe the calcium is formed in atom. How does this thing form? Because this one you don't use the word it again because when you put it I'm thinking it is what? It is calcium or it is chlorine. So try to use the word like calcium, don't use it. So calcium loses 2 electron to chlorine atom. Okay, calcium loses 2 electron to 2 chlorine atom. Okay, makes sense lah. Luckily this one is correct. Or 2 chlorine atoms, so can into 2. So the main thing is calcium loses 2 electron. Last time I remember I say donate, but I don't use the word donate lah. Maybe I think it's from SPM I learn sometimes the science book I read they use the word but this is after that I see the answer scheme they use the word loss. So it make more sense because when you say donate it's more like donate money. I donate the money to you. It's more like human work action. But this is atom, and lose make more sense because it really lose the electron. When you say donate, it's like you need to do something to donate. So I think a better word So because the opposite is gain so either we want to say we gain electron or we lose electron. We don't want to say we gain electron, we donate electron. So I think it's a better word but I still give correct because the answers show the meaning of the proper answer also so I just give correct. Each chloride ion contain 8 electrons in the outer shell. These are the represent of 7 dot and 1 cross. Explain why. So 7 dot represent the original electron. 1 cross of the electron chlorine gain. So this one you got mark 7 dot represent the original electron. Another 1 mark is they gain an electron to make the outer shell, to complete the outer shell. So because here didn't say share, okay, either you want to take complete or stable, okay. So they gain 1 electron. In order to make the outer shell, you must say stable or complete. Because the student didn't say stable or complete, so I just didn't get 1 mark he just say gain 1, but why? Explain why because they want the outer shell to be complete and stable. So the student will only get 1 mark. This one only 1 mark. Okay, 1 mark for this question. Okay, moving on. Explain why there are 2 chloride ion for each calcium ion. Okay, correct. Again, he still use the word donate, but I still give correct because calcium need to donate to donate. I also use the word donate. Calcium need to lose 2 electron and each chlorine gain 1 electron. Okay. I need to tell myself to use the word lost electron. Sodium bromide is an ionic compound. Positive is sodium. This one you shouldn't get wrong Bromine is the negative ion, so it makes sense. State figure 2.2 show that sodium bromide is an ionic compound rather than a covalent compound. Okay, sodium bromide one is the left, usually one on the right of the periodic table, so usually is ionic compound. State the figure 2.2 show that bromine, okay, because it contain positive and negative ion, okay, because they contain positive and negative ion. Opposite forces attract. Okay, Never mind lah, I just put wrong lah, because I think maybe if you write opposite charges attract or opposite charges attract, I think it make more sense, because forces is more like uh charge is different. Charge is be more about ion, or opposite charge of ion attract. Then I think it show more meaning. Opposite forces attract. It could be correct lah, it depend on the examiner lah. Sometimes I don't know lah, maybe the student answer like that. I think they usually have a group of teacher, and then they will ask their superior or leader to see whether this answer is correct or wrong. But this tutorial is just a discussion. We are not going to discuss how the teacher mark the paper. So in order to make life easier, I just put wrong lah, because I also don't know. State 2 reason figure 2.2 cannot be used to represent the arrangement of ion in calcium chloride. Okay, because there are 2 chloride ion for each calcium ion, correct? Because you need to have 2. This one is, and one more answer is, each calcium has 2 positive 2 charge. You need to say like that, okay? Or you can say the ratio is only 1.1. For this one, in order to make it, you need to put the ratio 2.1, okay? Or you can say the ratio 2:1. So it doesn't make sense when the ratio is 1:1, and it just couldn't fit in. And why it couldn't fit in? Because calcium got positive 2 charges. You just explain more things lah. Next question, number 3, show a bus. When the battery are fully charged, the bus is unplugged. Wow, very good lah, very high-tech bus. Describe how electric energy is obtained from the wind. So if you say they generate electric from kinetic energy, you will get 1 mark. Okay, so you get 1 mark for, if you say kinetic energy, you get 1 mark, and the kinetic energy will move the turbine. Okay, can lah, windmill move also can lah. So I give 2 mark lah. Actually, another mark is the kinetic energy move the turbine. But here is windmill, windmill is the blade, but turbine is the motor. Then I give 1 mark lah, because this one is not the turbine. So it's just 1 mark, because they ask you how it produce electric. Okay, the wind blow, the thing move the what? The turbine and or the generator. Only the generator produce electric. You ask why, how to get electric So one of the most keyword is the generator or the turbine. So I just put here turbine or generator. Wind energy is a renewable energy. This one should do lah. This one is I think is 11 years old question. Other than wind energy, we have solar energy, hydroelectric energy. And I just earn a little bit from Bitcoin. I thought, how much should I buy Bitcoin and use some solar panel? Nowadays, Malaysia, they got the solar panel thing. Then I'm thinking, maybe I buy a cheap house, a far away cheap house. Then I ask people to install it, and then I start to mine Bitcoin, and then I earn money. But I ask my friend lah. I got friend that do this. Then they're putting 100,000. My friend this one is very sensitive, so very secret lah. And then we do it in Malaysia. Then they ask not easy lah. I say, then I just forget it lah. After we do the calculation, a lot of things we need to calculate lah. Calculate installment, calculate the housing price, calculate the electric price, calculate the machine, because the machine will wear and tear and spoil, and the difficulty of mining Bitcoin, if you know what I'm talking about. Then so difficult, no need lah. But I think it's not worth it lah, because my friend already invest 100,000 of it into it, and not easy. And this world there's no free money. B, figure 3.2 show a graph journey by a bus along a road with 2 bus stop. Wait let me read. A graph journey made by a bus along the road between 2 bus stops. Oh, so it's the same bus. Okay, there is 2 bus stops. I'm talking about we've got 1 bus and 2 bus. Okay, so 1 bus, and he go and he start his journey, go, and then probably the bus stop at here, correct or not? So we can assume that the bus stop is here, because the bus stop so the speed is 0, and there is a constant acceleration. I don't know how the bus do it. It's impossible, right? If you want to do it in a car, like it must be your meter precisely constant with acceleration, but no, because we know it won't be the same lah. Usually the graph for normal car, usually I think it will be something like this, is it? Is it something like this? Something like that lah, because your car start to move more slow, and as it go faster, it accelerate more faster, then eventually like 120 to 130, you know that your car actually has reached the limit of the speed, so it won't reach even though you press the whole pedal. So never mind, but they still draw the graph like this, so okay. And this one make more sense as you press the brake, so you will press little bit brake, and the more you press, the bus will eventually stop. It won't be constant also, or you don't want to sudden brake, then all the people fall in front. You just brake it slowly, after that more and more and more, like a train lah. You brake it slowly, more and more and more, eventually the train will stop. So you make the behind one more realistic lah. The front one is, I think, is a bit not realistic. At one time of the journey, the driver start to apply the brake. State the time of the limit of brake is 150 seconds. Okay, so this one is 150 lah. Maybe why the student put 150, because let's zoom deeper a bit. Yeah, actually it's not easy to see, but let's go deeper. So it's 150 at here lah. At here. So I don't know lah. Maybe I don't think student will round this question, and maybe for you only. Okay, figure 3.2, calculate the distance travel. Correct. And then you got actually it's correct lah. So correct, the formula correct, the working correct, the answer and the unit correct. So it's 3 mark. And one more thing you should do, when it's 3 mark, you should write the formula. Okay, formula equals to the speed equals to area under graph. Okay, for example speed times time equals to or distance equals to area under graph. Write something lah, the formula. The reason is because there is 3 mark here, so you need to make sure you write the formula, because in the marking scheme the formula got 1 mark. Of course the working and the answer also got 1 mark, but to be on the safer side, just write the formula. In case you didn't do correct also, you got 1 mark. Distance equals to area under graph, you already get 1 mark. Working, you get 1 mark, and the answer you get 1 mark. So I just give 3 mark because there's 2 working at here. Yeah, okay. The speed limit of the journey is 30 km per hour. Show that the bus does not break the speed limit during the day. So you use 8 times 18 over 5, you get 28.8. Okay, so it won't be over 30. Okay, question number 4.1, show a graph affected by temperature of enzyme. So depend on what enzyme. This one is temperature 60. I thought most enzyme is at temperature 36.9, correct or not? Most enzyme are human enzyme, because of this is our human body temperature. So our enzyme work the best at human body temperature 36.9. But this one is 60, so I don't know what enzyme of this. Maybe it's for different animal or plant, or for other thing. Did he say any enzyme? He didn't say I don't know, but probably I think this is not for human because okay, so yeah, let's move on. Number 1, identify the temperature. Okay, so this enzyme, the most optimum temperature is 60 degree. No problem easy. Explain why the enzyme increase between 45 to 50. Okay. Okay, so this one, that's why you be careful, of your handwriting, because I read as H, it should be it. And try your best, when we start the first question, we don't use, even in English grammar sentence, when we are making essay, we don't use the word it in the beginning of the question, because of we don't know it means what. When we say something like, there is a tree, the tree is beautiful, or the thing, it is beautiful. But the first sentence I say there is a tree, it is beautiful. So you understand it refer to the tree. But when you start the sentence with it at the beginning of the word, the people need to think. Maybe you know, because I say it is me, but how I know? I don't know. Make sure your first sentence say the thing first, okay? Then the second sentence, you only use it or or the. Then it makes sense because usually it, the refer to the first sentence of the word that you use. So don't use it. It can mean a lot of things. It can mean elephant. It can mean a lot of things. Okay, so probably you want to say like the enzyme ambient temperature is blah blah blah. The molecule collide vigorously, so it's easier to bind at the active site. Very good. So you get 2 marks for this question. So 1 mark, and when you're talking about gain energy, is there anything about gain energy? And the second mark you can say is the effective collision and easier bind to the active site. One more is to gain energy lah. I just put here, okay. It gain energy. B. Protease enzyme are found in the stomach in a human. State the role of protease enzyme in the stomach. Okay, so it break down protein, you get 1 mark. But I still give 1 mark. Or break down protein is here, okay. It break down protein into amino acid. So the keyword is amino acid. I think peptide is also correct, but I don't know, maybe they want to use in university level only they use peptide. Because we know protein is polypeptide, and we want to break down polypeptide to, I don't know. But usually I read book, they say they break polypeptide is a protein to amino acid. They so seldom say peptide. But then I just give correct lah. Even though the marking scheme actually say amino acid lah, you can say break down polypeptide into peptide. I think this is more towards biology term lah, but I just give correct lah like this because I think peptide is also amino acid. Just put, but the marking scheme say amino acid lah. Sometimes I just follow, but it should be correct also. Figure 4.2 show the changing of the pH affect the activity of the 3 enzyme A, B, and C. So the pH affect the 3 enzyme pH A, B, and C. Describe the evidence figure 4.2 to show enzyme A is the protease enzyme in the stomach. So I'm looking like what H work the best in acidic pH. Then I'm looking here got A, B, and C. And I'm looking where is the H enzyme. Then I just see wrong. Wrong. It works best in the acidic pH like our stomach. H denature at higher pH. So okay lah. So it's supposed to be correct lah because it's stomach and denature at higher pH. So I just give wrong lah. Because I just
Hey, it wasn't like that.
Because I read as H. H work the best.
But now you know it's it, right?
No, but in the exam I don't know. I will straight away put wrong because I don't understand what is H, so I just put wrong lah. You never know in the exam, you know the examiner got 1,000 paper, he will mark very fast. I tell you, like me, he will mark it very fast, then he say H, there, wrong. Okay, continue to see. The process of photosynthesis occur in plant. Okay, so it's H6, C6, 6O2. This one very easy lah. We did this many times already. 2 mark. Number 5, a student investigate the rate of reaction between solid calcium carbonate and dilute hydrochloric acid. Describe how universal indicator. Okay, this one you need to know lah. This one universal indicator usually for acidic they are red to orange. Then neutral will be towards green. And if it's towards alkaline will be blue, and then even to purple. So if you know this, then you get just explain it in terms of word. Suggest the value pH in the dilute hydrochloric before the reaction and value pH in the mixture is complete. So acidic will be 4, mixture will be 7. So you will get 1 mark. So the reason because you want to usually want to put it 7 lah. Did he say what he want to do? The rate of reaction between calcium carbonate and dilute hydrochloric acid. Universal indicator, then add the excess calcium, measure the pH until it's complete. So the answer is 7. Usually they didn't say, but usually it's neutralization process. So once it reach neutral, you want to stop you want to stop the thing, then you get the salt, the proper amount of salt that you want. So you want to get it to 7, you want to get 8, or if you write 8, then the next question I will ask, why not 9, why not 10, why not 12 or 14, huh? So I think 7 will be a better answer lah. But the marking scheme is 7 so I just follow because it's a neutralization process. We just want to make it to be, maybe you want to get the salt and the water. Moving on, B, the student repeat the experiment. The student uses the same calcium carbonate and the temperature. The student uses different blah, blah, blah. Okay, state which experiment has the highest rate of reaction and which has the lowest rate of reaction. Use the idea in the particle to explain your answer. So the highest rate will be 4, the lowest will be 1. Okay, the highest will be 4, the lowest will be 1. The highest, correct or not? The higher is 4. Because the concentration is high, so it will be 3 or 4. Correct or not? Because you want to talk about highest rate ma. So which one will work the best, the fastest? So the one that will work the fastest will be the concentration. The concentration must be higher. So it's either 3 or 4. And the calcium chloride, but of course it's smaller is better. The smaller the particle, the better the concentration. Yeah, so it will be this one it will be this one, because 4 will be the highest because it has the smallest particle, and the lowest will be the largest particle with the lowest concentration, so it will be 1. And then of course, because the student is wrong here, automatically down here you will get wrong because bigger piece of calcium contain more particle to collide. No lah, no. Smaller pieces of calcium carbonate contain more surface area for the particle to collide. And then one more one is you think about the concentration. If the higher the concentration, eventually you have more particle in the same volume for the collision to take place. So eventually there is a more frequent collision. So you didn't get marked for this question. Bigger pieces of calcium carbonate contain more particle. Yes. Sometimes students confuse, Students thought that, I take bigger Bigger means a lot. Let me think of example. Let me think of example. Example of something of the rate of reaction. Let me think of example. Yeah. Okay, let me take example. Okay, for example, I take sugar. In our market in Malaysia, I don't know about your country. In Malaysia, we have 2 types of sugar. One sugar is the big sugar, gula kasar we call it in Malay. The rough sugar, I don't know English call what, the big sugar. Let's say I take 100 gram of the big sugar, the 100 gram of big sugar, and at the same time I go 99 month, I buy sugar 100 gram, and the sugar is the powder sugar, and it is still 100 gram. So I use this for cooking. Let's say I use this to cook a curry. So my question is, which one I can cook the curry faster? Which one do you think I can cook the curry faster?
Smaller particles.
Yes, the smaller particle I can cook faster. Even 100 particle also I can. But if you ask me which particle is bigger, packet in particle A is bigger. But doesn't mean if you got bigger particle means that you have a higher reaction. The smaller the particle, the higher the rate of reaction. That is why the answer should be the smaller pieces of pieces. That's why I say pieces. Let's say it's constant variable. Here didn't say but the constant variable should be the mass He just said use different size, but he didn't say use the constant variable, which is the mass. The mass supposed to be the same, but maybe the student don't know that he don't know that. You also didn't say the mass to be constant. Let me read again. Oh yeah, God, that's why I feel weird. God, the question got say same mass. So when we are talking about same mass, means they are constant variable. Same mass, 100 gram, 100 gram. Smaller particle will be more because here the question already say same mass. So the thing will be smaller piece of calcium carbonate contain more surface area for the reaction to take place. Higher concentration of hydrochloric acid also contain more particle for the reaction to take place in the same volume, therefore more frequent collision. So 3 explanation, 3 mark. Okay, I no need to write down. Actually the explanation is in the graph already. You just copy this one, put in copy this one, just write a few keyword like collision. This one is correct already, more collision, more frequency, more rate of reaction. Just use this word and put it into this graph, and you will get the answer correct. Moving on, question number 6. Figure 6.1 show a thermal energy being transferred to a beaker, thermal measure thermometer. Okay. Name the process by which the thermal energy is transferred. Why you get this question wrong? Apalah. This one is 15 years old science question. Heat only can be transferred by radiation, convection, and conduction. Radiation is usually by sun or by light. When you're talking about water, usually it's talking about metal pula. Water or gas usually is convection. Through the water in the thermometer is convection. Okay, so this is water, convection. Through the beaker to the water. So the beaker to the water means there's a solid here. Okay, so here is a conduction. Okay, conduction. Explain experiment 6.1. There is a thermal expansion of liquid and gas. Identify one useful application of thermal expansion taking place. Okay, able to measure the temperature using thermometer. Okay. For each degree of temperature rise, gas expand more liquid at constant pressure. Use the understanding of forces and distance between molecules to explain this observation. So, how you want to explain this? So, let's read the question. Each degree rise, gases expand more than the liquid at constant pressure. So, how you want to explain this? So we can say that the forces between the gas molecule is getting weaker. Therefore, the molecule in gas are greater. Or we can say less energy to separate the gas molecule. So you just explain it. Okay, so I think you should put the distance that there's a greater distance between the molecule in gas because they are greater distance. Therefore, is using less energy to expand. That one will be
That's what
better.
I wrote. Distances between molecules are far apart, man.
Okay lah. Then just give 1 mark lah, right? Because the distances are far apart, so it's easier for the gas to expand. Okay, so this one I just give 1 mark. Because it's so long and I sometimes when I read I don't know what the students talking about because it's quite long. And secondly is the molecular structure gases are free flowing, and I don't understand what does it mean by free flowing. Then I just give wrong lah. So of course this is the marking scheme lah. Probably the students will get 2 mark, right? Because the student write something like forces bearing gas molecule are weaker, so less energy is translated. So suppose the student to get 2 marks. So actually the student can get 2 marks. But I didn't give 2 marks because when I read the first sentence it doesn't make sense, and that's why I just give 1 mark lah. That's why it's important just to write the correct answer, because if you write the wrong answer, like the gas is free flowing, which is the wrong answer, then the examiner might think whether want to give you mark or not. Because if there's a limitation of answer you can write, if not the student will just write every answer and then the examiner will choose which one is correct and then the student will get the mark. But this is not how it goes, because the examiner must think that okay, the student got write 2 question, 3 question answer, whether the examiner want to give mark or not. So you need to be careful lah. But I think it depends on the discernment of the examiner. Okay, C. Okay, a student reads the thermometer using a magnifying glass. Okay, name the type of lens, converging lens, correct. Name the property of light, so this of course is called refraction. The student cannot see magnify image, so what are the things that you can do? Move the lens closer to the thermometer or your eye closer to the lens. So because it's 2 mark, hit this, so you on this, then you get 1 mark for this one. Define the term ecosystem, biological component of interest organism and their physical environment. Okay, so I just give 2 mark. Actually, the marking scheme say that unit containing all organisms in their environment interacting together. Interacting, you get 1 mark, and 1 more mark is unit of all organism. But I still give correct because they here write biological community, and I put BOD, then I just write 2 mark. Show some organism. Okay, this is an organism. Write construct. This one you know lah food chain blah blah blah. You got 2 mark. Just follow. Okay. The answer is at this picture already. This you just need to create this picture. Or this one. The answer is ready at here. Okay. Don't draw opposite. Sometimes students draw the arrow opposite. So it's from the high energy to low energy. Just remember. High energy is from the tree. As it grow up into the theater, it get low energy. So you don't draw the arrow opposite. You don't draw head-on, then drop, then you didn't get this question correct. Fertilizer, high nitrite in the polluted plant. So again, nitrite is a fertilizer, man-made fertilizer. Dissolve in water, go to the pond, cause alga bloom, and a lot of plant animal will die. Explain why producer under the surface of water die, because it block the sunlight. Alga blocks carbon dioxide and sunlight, and the down there they cannot have photosynthesis, so the whole pond will be green color. Explain why they are producer. The keyword is decomposition. You must say decompose. Eventually all the alga will die. Okay, all the alga will die, and the decomposition, and the alga will decompose because you know what, a lot of nutrients suddenly dissolve, maybe rain, so there's a lot of nutrient fertilizer on the pond, so the alga bloom grow a lot. Eventually they will also die a lot. Eventually all the fertilizer will be used up, so they don't have nutrient. All the alga will die at the same time. So when it die, the bacteria will eat it. You die, then you become bone, your bacteria also will eat you, me also, then we become like the sand. But when we die, that time the bacteria eat, they will undergo respiration. And when during respiration, they use a lot of oxygen. So they use oxygen from the water. There's lack of oxygen in the water, all the fish will die. So eventually all the fish will die. So the keyword is decomposition. If you want to add, you can add bacteria and respiration from the bacteria. But that marking scheme just say decomposition is enough. So yeah, if you want to explain more, you can. Explain why lack of oxygen causes reduction. Okay, because without oxygen, the thing will die and you got nothing to eat. So you got 2 marks. Okay, one is because no oxygen. Second is because they have nothing more to eat. But you explain explain very fast, but you explain by the word as they do not eat throat left. You must say throat left. Don't just say they have nothing to eat. Okay, explain it properly. Question number 8. Okay, you draw this correct. Same general formula, same chemical properties. This is a very direct question. State the color seen from the acrylbromide alkane. So it will be from orange to colorless. Okay, so I just give 1 mark for this question. Okay, so this one you correct you get hydrogen gas and you get C2H4. You got 3 marks for this one. State 2 condition. Presence of catalyst and high temperature. High temperature should be space but it's still correct so I just give 2 marks. Okay, high temperature catalyst, or maybe you want to put high pressure also can. Number 9 is a battery car. So this is a toy car. It's a battery car. I think let's read the question slowly a bit 2 motors are connected in the parallel. Okay, you need to imagine in your mind okay, 2 motors connected. Both motors are controlled by variable resistors. So before the 2 motor, you need to imagine in your brain there is a resistor. Before the resistor, there's a switch. Before the switch, there is a battery. You just imagine in your brain. So eventually the student draw. Okay, so you want to use a variable resistor to control the current. Either you want to make the car fast or slow. and you want to put a switch. So the marking scheme, the switch is here. The switch is here, but it doesn't matter. I don't think it really matter. The switch is at the front because the current move like this one. But it doesn't really matter if you got do a toy car light, you are putting a light and the light bulb. You want to put the switch here in front or you want to put at the back, it still works the same. Up to you. So I just give correct correct, and a correct symbol, correct parallel, correct battery. So you get 3 marks. B, the potential difference across is the maximum power of 96. Calculate the current. So formula for power equals to watt times ampere. Wait. Calculate the current through the motor when it's at maximum power. So why is this wrong? So the student will get 1 mark because I assume the formula is correct. So just give 1 mark. Because why the student get wrong? If you can pause the video and see. Because it's kilowatt. Kilowatt means what? Kilowatt means
24,000.
24,000 divided by 96. What you get?
Wait, 250.
Okay, 250 ampere. So it's wasted for this student because the student know how to do, but he just write in the formula wrongly. Show that the current supply and the battery, both motor are maximum power at 500. So maximum of it will be 500. So you just explain that because one motor, the maximum you can use is 250 ampere. So if 2 motor, maximum is 500. Okay, so you just explain. I don't want to write down because you just write by your own word because you just say something like because one motor is using 250 ampere, so 2 motor of a parallel circuit, you will get maximum of 500 ampere. So that is the maximum. You cannot go maximum already because one motor is 250. I just repeat back the same thing that I'm talking about. But I hope you understand and you use your own word. I don't need to write down. It's just 1 mark question. The car recharge it take 4 hours. You calculate 4 times 60 times 60. They already give you 14,400 second. Calculate it. Actually, the formula is Q equals to IT. But okay you also can use this formula. It's still correct. Okay. Current equals to charge divided by time. You do. You get the answer. 432,000 units is correct. You get 1 mark. So total it will be 3 mark. So that's it for this question. Thank you very much.